Hello, everybody. So, welcome to the Founder's Chair. The Founder's Chair is the podcast where we dive deep into the life of business owners and find out what it's really like to be running your own business. Today, we are joined by the wonderful Claire Hunter from Herbal Medicine Glasgow. Herbal Medicine Glasgow is a wonderful business that provides herbal healthcare for a variety of different treatments or whatever you may need it for. I think you do a lot of menopause and fertility and hormonal treatments. Is that right, Claire?
That's correct.
Yeah, so absolutely amazing and very unique business, especially in Glasgow. So Claire, if you wouldn't mind, would you tell us three things that you think are special about your business?
Well, I think it's quite an unusual thing to do as a job, first of all, so quite a niche part of the market.
Yeah.
I think since I've started, I've been in business for 15 years now, and more people know about alternative healthcare. When I started, it was very unknown, so I'd tell people I was a herbalist, and they're like, "What?" We still do that to a certain extent now, but people do recognise that herbal medicines, herbal supplements, you can go into shops in the high street now and get things.
Yeah.
Things are much more readily available now. There's lots of things online too. But I would say the special things about my business really are I work slightly differently than just supplying people with over-the-counter herbal supplements or herbal products. Because I run consultations, it's more like seeing a doctor for your health conditions, and I will match up the certain herbal remedies for your conditions.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time with my patients. So really around about an hour for a first consultation and then up to 45 minutes for a review consultation. So we do talk a lot about past medical history, people's symptom picture, what they're actually experiencing. And then I take all my background knowledge on the herbs and then match them to the correct herbs for them. And because you get a formulation of the herbs, it actually works really, really well. So I think the customer, patient relationship is definitely like one of the top things I would say that's unique about my business. And then I just love the fact that I get to give people really good quality herbal products.
Yeah.
So it's practitioners' strength products, which again is different to what you might get over the counter, and try to get organic and biodynamic herbs as well, which I think is really important.
I love that. It is very different because, like you say, your expertise and your background, that's what's actually going to make the difference. Like anyone can walk into Holland and Barrett and think they know what they need, but in reality, they might be getting the totally wrong thing. So having you there to give that kind of a guidance is going to make the world a difference because you could end up spending a fortune on lots of different things that aren't actually working for what you need it for. So
And that is absolutely true. And that's what people find is they try products for a month or two, it doesn't work, and then try something else, and they end up spending a lot of money. Whereas this is a very focused treatment plan. I know what works and what doesn't work because I've been doing it for such a long time. And people usually see results really quickly. Sometimes, like, it's ridiculous. Even I get shocked. It's like within a couple of Seriously, like that's amazing. Like, I try to tell people, because it's hormonal health that I'm niched into,
yeah.
that you need to give yourself like 3 months because we're working on people's cycles normally. But usually people will see an improvement in the first month.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. So why did you start your business, especially this kind of a niche? What made you get into it?
Well, I'd always been interested in herbs since I was a child. My mum had one herbal book and she had a garden, so I used to just play around with making concoctions in the garden. I just thought it was a lot of fun. And I didn't actually realise it was a job, right? So when
Yeah.
I was 14, I come from an island off the west coast called Tyree,
Oh,
and
amazing.
do you know it at all?
Yeah, I've got a friend that's from there. So, but
Oh,
yeah, if,
lovely.
if I didn't have like Ashley, my friend, then I would never have heard that. So it's a very
Oh,
small island, isn't it?
it's tiny, but it's so beautiful. It's such a lovely place. So when I was 14, we actually had a Well Women's Weekend and they had lots of different people come over. And we had a herbalist called Jackie Hazard come over to the island. And I met her for the first time and I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't realise this is something you could do as a job.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just blown away. It's like, wow, that's exactly what I'd love to do. And it was around about that time when you're getting hassle at school to say you've got to pick your subjects, you've got to know what you want to do with your life.
yeah,
At 14 is crazy. And I was very, very lucky because that was exactly what I wanted to do, and
yeah.
that's what I've
That's amazing. So it's just like it was meant to be from like this youngest age.
done.
So
And Weirdly, my mum actually found out, she did some genealogy stuff, that my four times great grandmother was actually a herbalist.
Oh wow, no way.
Ah, I
That's
know,
so cool.
isn't that bizarre?
Yeah, that's so cool. So it's definitely meant to be there because it's literally like, and well, it's like in your
Family.
genes and your,
Yeah.
yeah. So, oh wow. I always remember when I was younger, I would sit and make potions and things like that as well, like with all the kind of my herbs and everything in the garden. So, oh,
Very
that's
good.
absolutely amazing. You've turned what you've always wanted to do into your lifelong career, which is such an achievement.
Thank you.
What's the thing that you would say you're most proud of in your whole business?
Do you know, I've got to say it's probably my relationships with my customers. I've
Yeah,
had customers that have run throughout the whole entire time I've been in clinic, so 15 years, and it's quite incredible. With hormonal issues, they do tend to last for maybe a period of time, that could be months or years. But like some people I took over, I was quite lucky when I qualified because I was working at Napier's, which is one of the oldest herbal houses in Scotland. And at that point, two of the herbalists actually, one retired and one moved back to Dunfermline. So I took over their clinic and took over a lot of their patients. So I got a lot of experience very, very quickly. But I've had patients who have been managing arthritis throughout
right.
all that time. Absolutely love the herbs, have avoided, hip replacements, knee replacements, or I've seen them through those replacements as well and doing very, very well. But they absolutely love the herbs. But it's just, having that kind of really long-term relationship with people, knowing them, knowing their families, having that connection, knowing their past medical histories, it's something that we don't get these days. Like you go and see your doctor, and sometimes you don't know who your doctor is. Like you could see
Yeah,
five people in the practice. And when somebody knows your health inside and out, it just gives a really a rich part of what I do. It's just a lovely thing to be able to have that connection with people and really know them and know what
yeah,
works.
absolutely. Like that's such an achievement. And like you said, like sometimes you don't even know your doctor. You can go get passed through so many, and eventually one will be like, "So what's up with you?"
I know, I know.
So that's brilliant. What are the three things that have contributed most to the success of your business, would you say?
Right, I was thinking these are great questions actually, and do you know what? It's probably more the emotional stuff that's seen me through.
Yeah,
So I would say absolutely like determination, grit, and passion. That you've got to love what you do. Like
yeah,
if you want to go far, you want to, really hold on to because business is difficult. You get a lot of ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. You've got to have that passion, that love of the job to underpin it. And then you've just got to have a hell of a lot of determination and grit to keep going through the
a lot
tough
of
times.
patience.
Exactly. Because it is, and sometimes things will be going really well and it's dead easy. And other times you hit rocky patches, especially when we've been through such economic issues like with COVID, it has been tricky. So it was a bit of a funny one with me actually, because I ended up being really quite busy at that time, but other people, were really, really quiet.
Right,
And
okay, yeah,
people couldn't access their doctor services or NHS services in the same way.
that's
So I
true.
got
Yeah,
to do that. But I'll notice at different times, for various reasons, things will dip, and you can always question like what is going on, and
yeah,
you have to just hold steady through that and just keep going.
that's absolutely amazing. So, have you found that you've retained a lot of those clients that you got through COVID?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
funny because I met a lot of them online as well, and it's a completely different setup. So before I was always face to face with patients. Now I work a hybrid like a lot of people do. I have the online consultations which work well for people who are maybe not in the local vicinity, and I can see people throughout the whole of the UK now, which has opened up a lot of doors for me. But also I see people who can come into clinic. I'll see them at face to face as well, which I prefer because you see how people walk into a room. You can see if they're nervous or they've got a lot of anxiety, how they might be fidgeting with their hands or picking at their
yeah,
clothes. So you get a lot of different information. But it's been lovely that some people who have only met online have actually made an effort just to come and see me face to face.
yeah,
And we've
just to
got
kind of meet you.
one lovely client who actually came in because I said to her one day, I said, "Do you know what? You could be like 5 foot or 6 foot, whatever." She said, "Actually, I'm 6'2." And I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." And she came to see me and I was like, "Oh, I gave her the biggest hug ever." Because like we've
Oh,
been working together for such a long time and been through quite difficult parts of her life. And it was just really lovely to actually meet somebody face to face after only knowing them online.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's like I always remember during COVID when everyone was wearing the masks, and then when it came to the time for us to take the masks away, everyone was like, "Oh, is that what you look like?" You don't actually really know what people look like, so
Yeah. I had that with my dentist actually recently. I was like, oh, that's your face.
you're like, "I would never have pictured that." So, so like in the past 15 years since you've been in business, what's the most difficult challenge you've had to overcome?
Do you know, it's probably the fear factor.
Mm,
So, like, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of not knowing enough. So, especially in my field, like you've got to do continual CPD, so continual professional development to keep up to date with things. But you always undervalue yourself and think, oh, I don't know enough because you're especially dealing with healthcare and there's a lot of interactions and contraindications between herbs and drugs that you've really got to keep on top of the research. And there's always a worry when people are on things like blood thinners or really heavy duty medication that everything is safe for the patient. So I'm always
yeah,
double checking. But the business sense, I would always say it's, you know, you look at your competitors or other people in business, and there's a fear factor of thinking, God, they look absolutely amazing and they're doing so well. And you always tend to think, I'm not doing enough. So you have to try harder. And I think it's that emotional background chatter that I think holds you back sometimes, like fear of your own limitations and not taking that step into the unknown. Because that's what you really need to do to progress is do something you've never done before. And that can be scary.
yeah, absolutely. Like, I think you've put that amazingly there. One thing I've learned recently is get comfortable being uncomfortable. So always try to put yourself outside your comfort zone and do something you wouldn't normally do. So that's some actual brilliant advice. If you had a top business mentor, who would it be and what would you say that they've taught you?
Well, I'm currently going to name Mary Ann Smith
Yep,
because
she's a wonderful, wonderful woman. Yeah.
her personality is just amazing. She's very, you know, approachable and warm. She's a fantastic woman. I felt at ease with her immediately. But she's an absolute inspiration. So she's helped me stop feeling stuck in business and kind of helped me recognise my potential. And I'm really trying to now build on, you know, solid foundations so I can take my business forward. And I think that's something that I have dabbled with in the past, you know, trying to do things not really understanding why or having too much of a scattergun approach. So really it's trying to just keep things, you know, very focused and build these foundations. But, you know, she's the president of the Barnsley Chamber of Commerce, so she's a good person to know
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, and shout out to Dunbartonshire Chamber of Commerce as well because they have been amazing and such an amazing support. And I love it's been mainly women that I've met there, like just like it's not a women only club, just so everyone knows, like, but it has been like yourself and Aga Fountain and Ashley and Marianne and everyone's just absolutely amazing and so supportive. So yeah, I think that that's a brilliant one.
Exactly. And meeting you, Lauren, as well. You know, it's so lovely to see women in business
Yeah,
in the male setting as well, because there are like, groups and networks you can join that are just female orientated.
yeah,
But actually, you know, we are making up such a huge proportion of the workforce, like the integration, to have that there, to see more women in that male setting, I think is really important, and to champion each other. You know, and be there with the boys and be like, look, you know, this is what we're doing and we're pushing forward too. You know, it really is lovely to see that.
yeah, yeah. We couldn't have said it better myself. I think I couldn't agree more. So if you had to start from the beginning again, Claire, 15 years ago, if there was anything that you would do differently, what would it be and why?
Do you know, I would definitely get business support sooner.
Right.
So I think every business owner, they've got that love of their job
Hmm.
and they know that inside out. You know, I know herbal medicine, you know, very, very well. I'm so knowledgeable in my field. You know, I've got 2 degrees, but that side is one part of it. It's the business side. Like I never got taught business. I didn't do a business degree. I've kind of, you know, tried to pick up as many bits and pieces as I've gone along. But that side of things is so crucial to
Yeah,
running a business. And I kind of just got, you know, chucked in the deep end. I was very fortunate because I stepped into a busy clinic. But
yeah,
it is all the things that underpin a successful business, all your foundations and knowing what they are. Because, like in the medical side that I'm in, there's a lot of jargon, there's a lot of words that the average person wouldn't maybe understand. And it's exactly the same in business. There's a lot of words there that
Yep.
you kind of go, what exactly does that mean? And once you understand it, you understand it, and that's fine. You can go forward with that. But it is a whole sector that you need to learn about. You need to go into it and you need to pay attention to it, because when you're running a business, that is essentially what you should be looking at. And I think if I was to do everything again, I would definitely, hold the two sides. So working the business and working on the business.
Yep.
There's the two sections that needs, both the same amount of attention. So
Yep.
that's where I would definitely go deeper if I started again.
Yeah, that's a brilliant one because, like you say, most business owners open up their business because they're passionate about what it is that they do. So, but
Mm.
then they don't know how to run a business because like that's not what their passion is. So, and there is help out there from some amazing people. So yeah, that's such good advice. What advice would you give to other business owners? Speaking of advice.
Never give up. Never, never give up. If you want to do it and it's for you, you just have to keep plowing on through, because
Yeah,
it's going to be tough. Like, I think you know your limitations, know your weaknesses, because that's where your strengths are going to lie. You need to be aware of them, don't shy away from them, and then learn how you can make them better, make them your strengths,
yeah,
because that we'll always have those things that are really easy, that we love, that we enjoy, but it's the things that we don't enjoy, that we don't want to do, but are still really, really important.
yeah,
Like, even in the tech world, like, so I'm 42 now. We computers came in when I was in school, but the last 10, 15 years, things have advanced so much. Social
yeah,
media has advanced, and there's been a whole load of stuff like in the tech side of things that I've had to pick up on. Now,
yeah,
probably younger generation coming through, they'll just know that innately from going through school, playing around, growing up with these apps. It's just part of what they will have in their repertoire. But for a long time, I did kind of go, no, no, no. I don't deal with tech well, and I'm just going to not get involved in it or just take a back
yeah.
seat. And then I think it was last year, I was like, right, okay, me and tech, we're going to love each other this year. We're going to get together and it's all going to be great. And just having that mindset of
Yeah,
like, we're going to be best friends and it's all going to be good, it's kind of changed my thinking of it. And actually, like, I can work computers, I can do all this stuff. It's not that hard. It's just about having that change in thinking pattern and
yeah,
getting stuck in and getting on with it and asking for help.
yeah,
Ask for help. People want to help each other,
exactly.
because it's something you can help somebody with and they'll return the favor. But I think that's the thing, is like, never ever give up. Identify your weaknesses and really work on them to make them your strengths. I think those are definitely top key things for me.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. And like you say, it's things are just changing so fast and so quickly in the tech world, and especially with social media and everything like that. So it is important to keep up to date with it to keep your business kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, it can be really overwhelming. And I look at people that are older and they just kind of say a flat no. I'm not having a smartphone like my dad did for years. Eventually he's given in now. But it is hard because there's just so you never know which platform you should be on as a
Yeah.
business. You just look
Hmm.
at your ideal customer and where they are to decide which platform you should actually go to. And it might not be the platform that you want to be on,
Yeah.
with your individual choices. So you really have to be a bit, careful about your decision about where to spend your time, because this social media does take up a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely it does, yeah. But having the right mindset, I think like just going from that mindset of I don't know it and I'm never going to get to know it to no, we're going to be best friends, I'm going to learn it and we're going to be best friends, that would change everything, just having that swift and mindset. So that's amazing.
Mhm.
So what are your aspirations and your goals for the next 5 years for your business?
Yeah, this is actually a tricky question for me, because usually, right, I have literally on my wall got so many ideas. It's
Yeah.
kind of insane. And I keep thinking, all right, so I've written a book this year on managing endometriosis naturally. So
Oh
it's like a health
wow.
self-help book for women, who, so basically they can use herbal medicines at home, because endometriosis, it takes about 8 years to get diagnosed in the UK, which is
Yeah.
a horrific length of time, and people are suffering, all that time, month on month on month. So it's to try and give people something that they can actually start using at home. So it goes through herbal medicine, supplements, diet, and lifestyle. So lots of different things that they can do really quickly to help themselves. And then, if they need to get more support, by come see somebody like me as a
Yeah.
herbalist. you can do that. So I'm looking at writing other books. I'm always thinking about product development. So they are all in my kind of 5-year plan. However, Marianne's kind of like brought me back into focus. So it's just a 12-month plan of really trying to build solid foundations at the moment and get those nailed in. And then I can start going from there. Because I think, again, my downfall in the past has been too many ideas, and then spreading myself too thin. Whereas if you just focused on one area, you can really, really nail that down, get that done
Yeah,
really, really well. And it's like those building blocks, isn't it? You start
yeah.
to then up from
Trying
there.
trying to do too much at one time can almost cause you to do nothing and go nowhere. So focusing on the one thing is probably is the best thing to do. I actually didn't realise that you helped with endometriosis as well, because my best friend suffers terribly from it. So I'm going to give the two of you a wee introduction, because I think that that would help her out massively.
Yeah, definitely. Because
That's
there's a lot in there. Like there's a pain management, which is like horrific for people, but there's
yeah,
actually so many different symptoms associated with endometriosis that people don't really even talk about.
yeah.
It's such a major chronic condition that people really, really struggle with, impacts their quality of life. So absolutely, I would like to speak to her.
Yeah, because I've seen it firsthand with her, but beforehand, before she got diagnosed, I didn't even really know much about it, because you're not educated on it like throughout school and things like that, which you definitely should be. So, yeah, it's a shame. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So, um, I will definitely put the two of you in touch, because I never knew you'd done that.
Yeah, thank you.
So, well, that's us pretty much almost finished, Claire. So one last question before I let you go. So I always like to ask my guests, what is your favorite holiday destination that you've ever been on, and what is your dream holiday destination that you want to go on?
Oh my goodness. Right, okay. My favorite holiday destination has got to be Bali. I went on honeymoon and
Oh,
it was
wow, yeah, that would
just
be beautiful.
where would I like to go? Do you know what? Oh, there's so many places. I wouldn't mind the British Virgin Islands if somebody wants to pay for a flight over for me. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
nice.
that would be an experience, absolutely. That would be stunning. Oh, wow. But so when did you get married? When did you go to Bali?
2012, so it's a long time ago
Oh,
now.
yeah,
It's the culture. I love the culture and the
yeah.
people. They're so kind and gentle, and they leave these offerings on the streets with little incense. Like I think
Oh,
it's
wow.
different times of day. So I was walking past, like beautiful smells, and the
Yeah.
food was amazing. But I think living in Scotland, anywhere hot with sun is
Yeah.
a great. If anyone wants to send me anywhere, that would be it.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a bit of sun and some
I
beats.
love that. But it's sun and a cocktail, then you're happy.
Like job done. Ideal.
Amazing. Well, that is us all finished. So thank you so, so much for coming on, Claire. I so appreciate it.
Thank
If any of our
you.
listeners want to get in touch with you or want to book an appointment, how can they do that?
So you can go on my website, which is www.herbalmedicineglasgow.co.uk, and you can book an online consultation there with me really easily.
Yeah, amazing. So thank you so much. So that is everything for our episode today. Big massive thank you to Claire, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend.
Oh, you too, Lauren. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.